Right, we keep moving through the affidavit of Detective Senior Constable Matthew Reason, dated on the 1st of July 2021. We continue at paragraph 16. On the 4th of July 2021, Mr. Kiskonen announced that UKOA would be holding an, open quote, Australia Day, close quote, ceremony on the 31st of July 2020. This was to occur at the main war memorial in each state capital. Police subsequently learned that this was intended to be a day at which the Kingdom of Australia was to be declared and the red ensign was to be consecrated. It was also intended to remove any Australian national flags from the monuments and replace them with red ensign, singular. In his video, Mr. Kiskonen outlined plans for, open quote, mass oaths, close quote, and an intent to put the Government of Australia, open quote, on notice, close quote. This was to be the most significant event in UKOA history to this date. Mr. Kiskonen spent a great deal of time and money organising this event, which he comments on in his videos, and included Mr. Kiskonen writing speeches, purchasing flags, and having flyers printed. While Mr. Kiskonen was ultimately arrested prior to the event, simultaneous events did go ahead in Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Perth, and Adelaide. With the exception of Adelaide, these individuals were prevented from interfering with the memorials through intervention of police. So, a self-admitted jump the gun, intervening on something that was peaceful, which then threw mud in your faces for the way you acted. 17. Prior to their, open quote, Australia Day, close quote, ceremony on the 31st July 2020, UKOA had a considerable online following in most Australian states, with a smaller group of serious adherents who had sworn formal oaths to the, open quote, King, close quote, and who made UKOA a central part of their lives. Based on my investigations, I estimate that the latter group comprised approximately 100 persons situated mostly in Victoria, New South Wales, Western Australia, and Queensland. The group had a managing body, the Australian Royal Council, SIC, a number of subcommittees, and was appointing its own local officials to districts within which the members lived. A bureaucratic administrative process emerged in which communications were carried out through formal minutes, document transmission policies, and an online document management system administered by, apparently, Mr. Spires. So, was it managed by Mr. Google on Mr. Google's drive? There is a document that we could publish again, which was the non-violent direct action document, demonstrating that there was a peaceful and non-violent directive behind it all. So Matthew Reason has now labelled a large body of people. It's more than 100, because 100 is this sort of core group, and this 100 is scattered across towns and cities across Australia, and there are others in those towns and cities across Australia that have obviously come to realise there is something afoul with the Australian government. And it's not so much that what is being presented is true or not in that respect. It's the fact that they have realised that there is something afoul in the Australian government. And the lack of answers from that government add to the suspicions that these people already have. This statement, dated the 1st of July 2021, is over a year after the events that are being detailed down in these statements. So you would have learnt a few things within 12 months as well. And you would now be looking to cover your own ass post facto. That's something that I'm seeing. It's specific. This is coming from New South Wales Police in a very specific but non-specific way. It's all over the place. It's on both sides of the table. It's up and it's down. It's accusatory, but it's accepting at the same time. It's kind of bizarre. It's like you're covering your own asses post facto. Like, this is a year later, these words are being spoken in relation to the events that occurred, that were triggered by you. So that's just what I see.